Okay, everyone. Welcome to our first Bitcube Text Tuesday, officially on the first stream on YouTube. So basically we'll be covering HEIF files today and just specifically how they work on Express.js and how you can import them to apply to your API. We'll be using two libraries, one called Convert, HEIC Convert, and the second one is Sharp. We will be using HEIC Convert to convert the file to PNG, and then we are using Sharp to drop the quality a bit before you save it to your server. Okay, so I've prepared a small sample. We'll share this afterwards as well so that you can use it and just see how it works. And from that point on, we'll import it as well into our template and be able to use it. Okay, so for this new type of Apple, the HEIF and HEIC files, you are able to actually upload multiple images in one specific file. So for example, the HEIF file can have multiple images even if you upload just one file to your website. The HEIC file works a lot the same, the difference just being it's just a single image. To work with this, we'll need to convert the file first, so it outputs multiple files into a buffer, and then we can use another tool to upload it, for example, to Google Cloud if you want to upload that. Okay, so the two libraries, as I mentioned, is HEIC Convert and the Sharp library. The first steps that we need to do is just create our root. So for this example, I've just created a specific parent root called HEIF with ability to upload a single file, to convert the file, upload a file, and then if you want to, for example, create something, you can create it as well. You will see this route in the post, and upload a single file, convert it, and then from that, so just to show you how the conversion works, we'll just send it in. So this is a middleware within that specific function. We get the file, check if the file does exist before we do any buffers, check if it's a HEIF or HEIC file. One thing that we also need to always take into account when we are sending it from Angular, the application.object_stream is being used by Angular for these type of files. The reason for that is Angular or a browser doesn't actually know what a HEIF or HEIC file is, so when they send it back to you, they actually convert it to a stream to stream the data back to you. So if you use Postman, you need to check for these two. If you are using Angular specifically, you need to check for your object stream. Then the next step that we are doing is the file buffer. So what we are doing is taking the file buffer that we received from your request to buffer that file and output the same buffer but in PNG instead of the file format that we got from the HEIF file or HEIC. If it's a multiple file, the buffer will contain multiple buffers, and you will be able to use the multiple buffers to store them individually or as one file again if you want to. The difference being if you save it as one file, it will be a zip file. After that, we just use the Sharp library as the example I'm showing to convert and just drop the quality a bit and convert it back to a buffer. That allows us to just take a bit of the sizing away. The reason for this quality drop is when you upload, for example, a HEIC file of 2 megabytes, you end up with a PNG of about 20 megabytes. So it's quite a massive file after the conversion. This assists with just dropping that quality again, so that you maybe end up with a 10 meg instead of a 20 meg file. We've played around with dropping the quality even more, but what we found is the image quality is then distorted, so your image isn't as well as you want it to be. After that, we just finish the middleware, go to the next function. Example, just mention a comment here, so you can now upload your file. So if you want to specifically upload this PNG to, let's say, Google Cloud, you can do it within this function, upload it, and go to your next specific set of data. After that, your file's uploaded, you can store the data within your organization or in your database, wherever you want it, and then just return to the user, for example, upload success. So you can see here. So just to show you how it would work, I'll place a breakpoint at the first section. So I've chosen a sample HEIF file, and I will upload that specifically, sending it to my API. Just need to start the API. Okay, so I'm going to send this file to the API. You're going to see to request, so we'll see we got our buffer, the encoding, the file name I've chosen, and the MIME type. As we are using Postman, you can see it's HEIC and the actual name with the size of the file. If we go to the next step of this, we'll see this buffer being converted back, and I'll run this. This normally takes a few minutes. I've just applied a small file for this example, but converting the HEIC file takes a few minutes. For example, a 1 meg file takes about 30 seconds to do, while the average of the HEIF files, which sits around 5 megabytes, takes almost 10 minutes sometimes to convert. What we found is HEIF files converts a lot slower than the HEIC files, reason being there's multiple files in the HEIF that needs to be converted most likely. So that we can see our buffer is now uploaded, we can run the sharp library and we can get another one, and now we have a buffer specifically with the data and the new converted file, and this we can use specifically to upload to our servers, and we can guarantee then this is a PNG that we can show on your browser. Okay, I'll just step over and we'll see the upload success because the file has been uploaded. The next step on this is our Angular section. So we've built a library around a tool called FilePond. So this library we've built specifically to be able to handle any type of file, and as well the HEIC and HEIF files. So I'll show you how that works now. So I've just imported it for now into our sample document, and if I bring this over to here, you'll see upload an image. So just to show how it works, so I have my HEIF files and HEIC, so I can upload that one. As you can see, the browser cannot show a sample of this, so you cannot see actually how it looks. And for HEIF file, which is a lot bigger, as you can see this one is 2.5 meg, also cannot see it. Okay, and if I go to my TS file, you will see I specifically specified this. So the reason being why we need to say image/all and this is the browser doesn't know about these two as image types. So what happens if you just say image all, you cannot find your HEIC or HEIF files, and they do not come up in your files. Just to show you what you would see if your file is then imported as a PNG. So I'll pick up a PNG here. So you can see, we can see a nice example of this file, and specifically because of this you can see the file, so it's PNG, but if we start with HEIF you cannot see this. Just checking the comments here, I see there's a few. So the reason for the JPEG instead of PNG is just the default. So I can show you on this, we've experimented with the library. So if I would change this to JPEG, what we found, the library is unable to convert the HEIF files. So I'm going to take this file, I'm going to choose it to Postman quickly. So I'm going to take one of these samples, I'm going to import specifically this file. I'm going to get to this point. As I mentioned now, it will take a bit longer, and what we found is this image cannot get converted, so let's take JPEG as well. Okay, and if I upload this one, we'll get an error from the library itself, inside the library somewhere where it's trying to convert it. So it takes a while, so just give it a second. Okay, and that's the section where we found that it doesn't work. So within that library we get this error that's being popped up, and the buffer that you actually get back is corrupted. You are unable to see whatever is happening within the file. For HEIC files, this works fine, but HEIF itself, it's not able to do that. But using PNG, we were able to convert it always, both types of files. Yes, so as Fransje mentioned, for HEIC it works well, for JPEG, but HEIF, which can contain multiple images, it seems like the library we wanted to use doesn't work well. And what we found is, because of this change, it's quite new, we couldn't find any real libraries to do the conversion as well. So this is the one that we stick with currently, as it does include both types of files and supports multiple files within the HEIF, which is not possible with most libraries we could find. If you can find any library can do this and do it better than this, you're welcome to share it with us. It would be great if we can import something that's faster and can do it for any type of format that we require. Okay, so just to show you how it works, I've added this, and so we'll take this sample file and we can upload it. That's the same file I've just uploaded with the file here, and we can then save it to our service. Yes. Okay. And yeah, that's basically the biggest concept behind it. So the conversion itself happens within this library, within this function that we've built. We can extend this, and if we do find better libraries in the future, we are able to swap them out. It would be even better if we were able to swap both of these libraries into one library. But currently, because of this new format that's quite new, we are unable to do something like this. And then for our front end, as I mentioned, we've built this file pond. So as you saw the example here, we can upload files of any type, and we can also upload specific files with it having specific limitations and things if we wanted to use them. This library will also be included into our shared modules that we'll be releasing for new projects, and it works quite easy. You will see it just has the form control that you would normally apply and your options. Within your options, you'll just have your label, file types accepted, and any types of functions that you want to expose to it. And I believe that's everything. If you have any questions, you may place it in the comments. Francia just said I should just show you. So for example, here can I use HEIF or HEIF? As you can see, no browser supports it currently. For HEIC as well, we can see no types of files. I believe this is called something like MP4. I can't remember the name. But HEIF is also used for file formats, for image and for video formats. The video format's just called something else as well, just can't remember the name now. I'll just share it within Slack when I remember it. Gavin, so for HEIF back to iOS, no, you don't need to do that. It's just your iOS devices saves the image as default as HEIF from iOS 11. So you can set it so it saves as PNG and JPEG, but by default it's set to save as HEIF files. A lot of the tools that we found, for example, you can try Slack as well. If you upload your HEIF or upload an image via your phone, which is HEIF, you'll see the app converts it as well to PNG before it posts it onto a channel. So most tools already convert it before they upload it. We just need to upload it after, or upload it and then convert it in our API. As you saw, it's quite heavy on the processing because it takes quite a while, so you don't want to block a user while you are uploading his files. The HEIC video file is specifically another name. So you can specify it instead of image like we've done, you specify video. So if I take video, you'll see I won't pick up anything. So that extension is the same, but the first section is still image or video. As you can see, it doesn't pick up. And if we convert it back, we can just pick up those images. Just for interest's sake, so the new version is called H624. That's your MPEG-4s, and then I believe that's the new one, so it's HEVC specifically. Yes, as Jacques mentioned, the preferred I would say is JPEG because the PNG is converted is quite a lot bigger. One way we found also to do it in our packages, it's not the ideal way, but to convert this format to PNG, so you have a PNG, and then using Sharp to convert to JPEG like this, so that you still use two libraries, then you can end up with a JPEG if you want to, but first you need to convert to the PNG. But yeah, that's basically the concept. As I mentioned, we will be releasing this onto our library that everyone can get access to this and start using it, especially when we are uploading images. Just one word of caution regarding servers: this conversion tools for like Sharp and Convert on Unix servers, they take quite a lot of memory, and it seems like they do not discard the memory afterwards. So just a word of caution when you are taking this to a server, maybe use something like AWS function that you can close after you've converted a file. And then yeah, that's everything. So for our next session next month, we'll be covering, as Francia mentioned, the son of how to connect that via API and to basically control your home via Postman, and the same for making beer. So Francia will show you how he creates his own beer using Postman just to regulate temperatures and things like that. Okay, and then we chat to you guys next month. See you again.